Living on an airplane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Karen Baker.
Hi.
Hey, tell me, how long have you been sculpting?
I've been sculpting probably about 15 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
How did you learn sculpting?
So I've always been an artist. So I've always had my fingers in some kind of painting or playing with clay. When I was in college, I took a life course on a life sculpting class where you sculpt from a model.
Ooh.
And we did portraiture. And that's where I really fell in love with the 3D kind of dimensional kind of art. So from there, I just kind of fell into polymer clay. First, I started off making cute little earrings and animals and things. And then I thought, I could probably make something pretty realistic. So I started off making Santas. And they weren't bad. And so I thought to myself, there's got to be someone out there that's doing this, not just, I didn't just invent this. So I got online and I looked on the, for polymer clay art. And lo and behold, there's a whole forum of artists that were making these dolls, So I took a class, and long story short, I met Jack Johnston, and he took me under his wing, and I was his apprentice for a long time, and he taught me a lot, and I just have never looked back. And I love the medium, so.
So there's a feeling there. You either have a lot of fun, you're feeling a
lot of fun,
accomplishment. What really talks to you in sculpting?
Creating something dimensional. You get a different feeling from it than you do just painting. I love to watch it evolve. I mean, a painting evolves too. You have your layers and layers, but there's something about sculpting where it just evolves in front of your eyes and it gets such a life. And it's so exciting for me to actually bring it to life, to put the color on it and watch it just pop before my eyes. That's a real rush.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, after a while, you start teaching, and you still do. Why teach what you have learned?
I've always loved to teach. I mean, I've taught riding lessons for horses. I've taught people how to train dogs. I've always been kind of a teacher. And I love to talk to people. And before that, I was in dental, and I was in charge of teaching people how to care for their teeth.
Wow.
So I've always been kind of a teacher.
So you love the teaching
I love people. I love talking. So I really enjoy that part of it. And watching somebody develop is really exciting for me.
That's very cool. Now, you have taught many courses, I know, and you start with the Santa, and the Santa is one of the courses you teach online and in person. Why people get so drawn to the Santa Claus?
Santa is such an iconic, figure, and he's been depicted so many different ways, in a tank top on the beach, with sunglasses, in old world Santas. He's such an iconic figure that people just are drawn to it, and what he represents, goodness, humanity, all those things.
All good things.
And I just think he's really popular because of that.
And when you teach from how to, of course, sculpt the face to the whole body, including
we do that. We do the head, hands, and feet, which is, part of but then the process of making an armature and putting it all together, this is where people get confused on, not just where do I start, but how do I finish? I can make a head, great, but how do I do that now? How to put it properly onto an armature, how to get it to where it's balanced and standing, all of those things we teach.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, going from Santa, all good things, to witches.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which
all great
Curious
things.
Mondo was one of your most successful courses. They were all very successful, but the witch had a thing, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
So again, witches are iconic. I mean, they represent spirituality. I can't say that word. They represent, evil, good and evil, because you can have your good witch and your bad witch. I think that draws people, people that don't really want to be super religious, with all that, they can still embrace the spirituality that a witch embodies, the whole Mother Nature and being in touch with, the elements and all that.
I
It's
think
very
it also has
pulls you in.
a big connection with women, right? I see
Yeah, the powerful,
power
the power
of
of
the woman,
woman. Yeah,
yes.
because a witch embodies that, and that is a
That is
big
a big
draw.
thing.
Also, that witches are not usually beautiful. I mean, they are, but there's the other side where
Yeah.
they're really craggy,
Yeah.
but they're still important and powerful,
Uh-huh.
and people are drawn to that.
Every wrinkle, every
Yeah.
dot they
Means
have
something. It's
means
beautiful
something.
and it means something. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can put, and as far as a creating part of it, you can create, wrinkles and it's cool.
Uh-huh.
The moles and
Yes, it's very
the
cool.
wrinkles. It's very cool for people. So that's another draw.
Very cool. And then going from witches to pure magic, like elves, the
Oh, yeah.
protectors, right, of the
Yeah.
earth. And that was another very successful course. What attracts you to sculpt elves?
I love magic. I love the whole mystical, idea that somebody has a power. And elves they're cute. I mean, they have that funny little face, and they're easy to for me they're easy to create. I can really let my imagination go. I can make a nose bigger or eyes too close together, and they're still adorable. The pointy ears really are fun because you can make little pointy ears or real floppy pointy ears. So there's all kinds of things with the elves that you can explore. And I think that's another thing that people like, is that it gives them I'm not in this little box that I have to do it like this. I can really let my creativity flow,
Beautiful,
and that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Now, two of your courses went in depth into hands, feet, teeth, and then another one on shoes. And I know these are some parts of sculpting that brings fear to a lot of people. Do you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, and why?
Yeah. Well, it's daunting. The feet. They think, it's so hard to duplicate a shoe, and without knowing how a shoe is put together, it can be,
Daunting.
yeah, daunting to. And some people think, I just can't do it.
And the
Yeah.
hands.
And the hand. I was just going to say, I don't know if you asked me about the hands, but the hands are even more so, because hands are very difficult to do. Hands are probably the most challenging thing that a sculpture artist will face. And if you can crack it, if you can learn the process of it and then practice, because it all comes with practice. Yeah, any of it comes with, just sitting down and doing it over and over again. But if you have somebody to show you the process, and then you can just practice. It's like learning to play an instrument. You can't sit down at the piano and just play Beethoven. Somebody has to show you the process, and that's exactly what sculpting is like.
And that's what exactly we need to pay attention, because in today's age, you think that you go online and you watch a gazillion videos and that will give you the skills. But there's more to that, right?
There's more to it, yeah.
I mean, your knowledge, your experience, how much you struggle at the beginning to get to that perfection. So
And that
now
does
you can
help.
consider yourself, I can be mentoring other people.
Yeah, and that does help people to hear that I didn't start out making hands like this. I struggled, and the fact that I love to teach it helps me to look back on those times and think, I can see how that person's struggling. I've been there. I can show them they don't have to struggle like I struggled, because I can show them a better way and an easier way. Not to say that you won't struggle, but a really a mentor that can, and I like to think of myself as a mentor, not so much a teacher,
Yes, exactly.
but a mentor that can take somebody and say, look, I'm going to communicate to you how to do this, and then it's up to you to to go on and be something you're proud of. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, your career took you to Halloween a big time, right?
Yeah.
It's one of your
I found
best
my
shows.
niche.
You found your niche. And of course, we have courses on the Skeleton Man, the Ghost, and the Pumpkin Lady.
Yeah, that one we just
you
finished.
suggested is a great project for a beginner, correct?
Yeah.
What attracts you to Halloween, and why did you find your niche?
I just found my niche, I think, because I love the characters, and I found a show that I do that keeps me creating them, and I just love to do them. I love the creativity that you can get with monsters and different.
Now, on your ghost course, of course, during the course, we created one ghost, but you made actually a trio, right?
I did.
And
That
the
was
piano,
a
and
favorite.
it was a huge thing, right?
Yeah, it was. That was a favorite of mine for sure.
Now, one thing that many times is unique to you is that all your pieces, they come with a story. Be like the pumpkin man hauling a cart, or
Yes.
the ghost playing piano and singing. They always have that, which I think is very, very important. But it comes down also on how you costume a doll. And you're a real expert on that, and you actually gave a course just on costuming. Why is that so important? Can I just buy doll's clothes and put on my pieces?
Now, the costuming tells a story in itself. You know, costuming is, I'm going to say, next to the gesture that you put your doll in, costuming is the next important thing. You can have a really great doll and put just a sheath on them, and it's not going to make, the costuming makes the doll. And gosh, if you can learn how to make your own patterns, and yeah, you can send it out and have somebody make it for you. But if you can draft your own pattern and learn how to do that, oh my gosh, the opportunity is it's endless. How you can change just a simple pattern, you can change it to, you know, one with a ruffle that makes it look extra cute, or maybe a real sophisticated jacket. You know, lose the collar. You can do all kinds of things if you have the basics. So it's an important
really
skill.
frees you,
It
right?
and it's an important skill to have as a
Very
doll
important.
maker.
And
Very
we
important.
went in depth into that. Well, you know, you have many courses at Curious Mondo, and I'm really waiting forward to many more during the years, because you were a fun person. And one thing that we get as a feedback every single time is how real you are. So they appreciate your talent
That's
very,
nice.
very much. But the fact that you're just like everyone else
I
is
like
a
to think I
plus,
am.
right?
I make mistakes, and
Yeah.
I mess up. I mean, if you watch my courses, you know I say the wrong things sometimes. I struggle just like any other artist does, and I'm very happy to admit that. And I have very small ego. I do have a little bit of an ego, but I like to impart to my students and my watchers that, you know, this is really me. This is life,
Who you are.
and I like to be real. I love that comment.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
get that every
I'm
single
down to
time.
earth.
Yeah.
Yay! I want to come off that way, so
That's
I'm
good.
glad.
That's good. So hoping you come back to Curious Mondo really, really
If
soon.
you'll have me, I'll come.
I'll have it. Thank you.